If you're wondering about whether buying a franchise is the right wealth move for you, this video will help you make an informed decision. I'm Achimbo Tanda, four-time entrepreneur, attorney, and angel investor. Today, I'll discuss the pros and cons of buying a franchise and give you actionable tips to help you make this significant decision. Let's get started. There are several compelling reasons why buying a franchise can be the right thing for you to do. The first of that is the brand. You're buying into an established brand that already has market demand. So that means one of the hardest things to do when starting a business is to get your initial customers. Typically, buying a franchise means it comes with its own base of customers, and you don't have to try to figure out or convince the market, hey, come shop here or come do business with me. So that's one of the significant reasons people buy into a franchise. The second big reason people buy into a franchise is because they already have the business model figured out. So you're not trying to figure out the cost, you're not trying to figure out the profit margin. Most of that's already fixed. The systems are in place and they know how this thing runs. So you're buying into one, something that already has leads coming in and people who trust the brand. And two, you're buying into a business model that already should be working. The next big reason that is training and support. One of the hardest things to do as an entrepreneur is figuring out the best way to train your people. So typically when you buy into a franchise model, they already have a handbook, guides, training courses, etc. on how you should train everybody from an entry-level person to management. That comes to you, and as an owner, you already have these processes, these systems, these resources you can lean on instead of having to build up your own book. So that's another significant thing that comes with owning a franchise. Now, the next one is another big one, marketing, right? So to get ongoing customers, these franchises are usually already running their own marketing programs. So either you're contributing to that or you're just benefiting from it, and that came with your investment. Finally, economies of scale. When you're buying franchise, the last big benefit that you have, franchisees often benefit from the purchasing power of the whole network. Imagine you're buying into Burger King and you have to buy potatoes for your french fries. So instead of having to buy 1,000 potatoes and paying X amount, you're buying into a network that's buying 1 million, if not tens of millions of potatoes. So you're getting a significantly reduced cost. So lower cost for supplies, inventory, delivery can really improve your bottom line, meaning you get more profit. All of these factors contribute to why buying a franchise might be a great decision for you if you're looking to get into business with a bit of a head start. Now, there are challenges when buying a franchise, challenges and limitations. So let's jump into some of the biggest reasons that you may not want to buy a franchise. First big reason is it's a high initial cost. One of the reasons why established successful businesses are willing to give the opportunity for people to buy franchises from them is because they need that additional capital in order to expand. So that means they're going to ask you for that additional capital. So some of the businesses that you may buy into, like McDonald's, may cost $3 to $7 million per franchise. So that's the upfront fee that you're paying in before profit, before revenue, maybe even before the location's built out, in order to be given the ability to own a franchise location. And by franchise location, I don't mean necessarily geographically. It may be just owning one store. Now, McDonald's on the high end, there are some that you can buy for a few $100,000. On top of the initial cost, you have ongoing fees. So typically the corporation that you contract with will require that you pay a percentage of your gross profit, not your net profit, your gross profit. That means every single client that comes in, whether they're profitable or not, you're typically paying a percentage of that income to the corporation. So that will eat into your profits. For those who love to be creative and want to be part of the marketing process, wants to be part of the innovation process, franchising may not be the thing for you because there is very tight regulations and controls on what you can do creatively. When you're buying into franchises, you're buying into their process. They don't necessarily want you to innovate. They said, this is the way we're doing things. We just want you to continue doing it exactly how we set out. In the contract, it will point out what you can and cannot do. And there'll be a lot of things saying, hey, you have to do this way. And if you violate that, we can take away the franchise. You're going to be signing a very complex contractual agreement. So you need to have a very good franchise lawyer who can help walk you through that, because there's a lot of things you're agreeing to. If you don't have somebody who knows how to read through clearly, you may be signing up and investing something and then losing your investment because you violated the agreement. Finally, the success of your franchise is tied to the franchisor's brand reputation and things they do in the future. So you may not be able to control how fast it grows, how large it grows. It's typically tied to what the whole brand is doing. And if there's a big issue with the brands, similar to what happened with Subways and the brand ambassador for Subways, you can go look into what happened there as an example. That can really affect all the franchisees, even if you had nothing to do with that. These challenges don't mean that you should not buy a franchise, but they should weigh heavily in terms of your decision going forward, whether you're going to buy a franchise or you're not going to buy it. The best thing you can do is make an informed decision and have advisors to walk you through this process. So now that you know some of the pros and cons, here's some tips if you are going to go forward with buying a franchise. First, research the market for this franchises. Dig deep into the franchise's history, financial profits, reputation, and growth potential. What you want to do is know how have they performed in the past, and also do they have a future. You don't want to buy into a brand that's dying. On top of that, make sure you dig into it and see the closure rate of franchises, because if it has too high of a closure rate, that means it's not working very well. So you want to see, is it a high closure rate, is it a low closure rate, etc. Does it have a high closure rate? Meaning, are the franchisor, the people who are buying into, do they have to close up shop for one reason or another? You typically do not want to buy into a franchise that has a high closure rate. On top of that, you want to understand it from its geographic presence. So are you buying into a franchise that is really strong in California but doesn't have any locations in New York? Then it may not be the best decision to do that, because the marketing and brand reputation may be really strong for California, but it may not mean much in New York. You want to make sure that franchise is going to be able to perform well in the location where you wish to open. And you can tell that by, is it performing well in locations that are similar to it? Is it in this location already and performing well? So these are things that can really help you understand whether this is going to work out well for you. Two, make sure you understand the financial commitment, both the initial fee and also the ongoing fees. So make sure you understand that and you have the liquidity or the ability to make those payments. Review the franchise document and the details with somebody who's highly experienced in franchises and also a franchise attorney. Make sure you're doing that and you're building a team to help walk you through this process. This is not something you should do on your own. Don't look for a general attorney. Don't look for a business attorney. Make sure you're looking for a franchise attorney. This is very specific, and you need somebody who knows the ins and outs of these agreements. Because if you do get into litigation, you're not getting into litigation with a small company. You're getting into litigation with a large corporation who has access to a ton of lawyers. So you want to make sure you're going into this correct. Next, speak with current franchise owners. So there's typically some groups, some networks, some associations for franchise owners. Go speak with them. Ask them, hey, what's your experience with this? Is this working out? If you had to make this investment again, would you do it over? So go speak, build relationships with these people. Don't think they're going to shoo you away. A lot of them are going to be more than happy to talk with you and tell you the pros and cons of coming into this association. Remember, as the franchise grows, it helps everyone in this network. It's a really interesting space where people are rooting for each other. Next, you have to consider your personal goals and skills. One, is this where you want to go? Do you want to be a franchise owner? Are you somebody who's fine with giving away creative control? Are you okay with buying into a process and replicating rather than innovating? Does this franchise align with where you want to go in life? Finally, do you have the skills to manage, own, or continue investing appropriately in this franchise? Are you really good with numbers? Are you good with the holes that the corporation may not be able to handle? Do you have those skills to manage this location effectively, or hire people to manage this location effectively? Lastly, once again, do not go out and do this yourself. Make sure you go out and seek financial and legal advice. Buying a franchise can be a great way to get into business and to make profit. However, it is not for everyone. Make sure you go through the process. Make sure you really think it through and don't think it's just passive income. It's not. Now, on to you. Do you think buying a franchise is right for you? And if you would, write in a comment, what franchise would you buy and why? And I look forward to responding to most of you. That's it for today. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more business and investing advice. Thanks for watching. God bless.